What is up? And welcome back to the Can't Be Contained podcast. My brain, as I was doing that, my brain almost said Hungry for Happiness podcast, which that was 2 podcast names ago. This show started off as the Hungry for Happiness podcast, and then it went to the Sam Skelly show. And now it's Can't Be Contained, because when we do enough breath work, when we do enough somatic work, when we heal the trauma that lives in our body, that is the result. That is the result. That's the result. We cannot be contained. We are expressive. We follow our soul. We don't wait for permission. We give ourselves permission. We shift our identity because we realize that so many of the identities that we were living under are not ours. It's a really good exercise. This week, I had the pleasure of doing our Life Mastermind challenge. So I got to spend 3 days with you guys, which was so great, so great. And we really talked about giving ourselves permission, No one's going to knock on your door and say, hey, you are ready to chase your dream now. Hey, it's time now. Hey, you've got enough credentials. You've got enough experience. You're smart enough now. Hey, you're smart enough now. Go ahead. No one's going to do that. We have to give ourselves radical permission, moment by moment by moment, giving ourselves radical permission. When we give ourselves radical permission and we change the identity that we have, the identity that we live every single day. Here's the powerful thing about identities is when we decide in advance, what is that identity that I am going to fully, radically choose and declare for myself, that identity creates a neural pathway in our brain, and that work is working even when you're not working it. That work is working even when you're not working it. So if I have the identity of today's podcast, which is filthy wealthy, I am filthy wealthy. And I embody that and I become that. And I feel that in every single cell of my body. When I go to sleep tonight, that narrow pathway is creating a groove in my brain. And I am going to find things that are congruent with that identity, even when I'm not trying. That's the power of identity. And so is 2025 going to be the year where you radically change what you're all about? Is 2025 going to be the year where you're like, you know what? I am no longer going to wonder if this mission inside of my body is going to work. I'm just going to go for it. And like I said, I got to spend the last 3 days with you guys doing that work. And we opened up the doors to the Life Mastermind on the day 3. The day 3, is that English? Day 3 of the challenge. And we are feeling like crazy. We have 6 spots left at the time of recording this. And it is a beautiful 12-month container if you are a female leader, entrepreneur, and you are ready to do business in the new way, which is honoring your nervous system, tapping into your feminine energetics, prioritizing energy over strategy, heart over the constant hustle and grind, and living from a place of flow and freedom, not constant force. And you want to do that with a community of women who are just here to do the work in a big way, here to build amazing things, make insane impact, and make insane income. Head on over to www.pausebreathwork.com/mastermind. I am also going to put the link in the show notes of this episode so you can click that and apply. And I would love to read through your application and see if you're a fit for the 2025 intake. All right, let's get into today's episode.
Can't be contained.
All right, my loves, this is the Can't Be Contained podcast, and today we're talking about being filthy wealthy. Why am I not saying filthy rich? Well, first of all, filthy wealthy sounds dope. When I was thinking how to title this episode, it just popped in my brain. I'm like, that's rad, because rich is like, I got lots of money. I got gangster money. But like wealthy is this holistic approach to abundance, right? Is your life wealthy? When I tune into that for my own life, wealth for me is health, right? When I have my health, I am freaking wealthy. Wealth is choice. Do I get to choose how I want to spend my days? Wealth is, do I have the spaciousness in my calendar to actually take a nap? That for me is wealthy. I am wealthy if I have that choice. Wealth for me is working with dream, literal soulmate clients because I don't have to work with people that I don't want to work with. That is a dream. That is wealth at the deepest level, at the deepest, deepest level. So today is talking about being filthy wealthy. And if you've been around these parts for a little while, you know that my philosophy to wealth is energy. We got to get our energy right. And so in this episode, I'm going to be walking you through very specific and tangible ways that we can increase our energy. Therefore, we can increase our wealth. Therefore, we can do the missions that are on our heart with so much more ease. My acronym for business, you guys probably know this because it's the name of my mastermind, is lucrative, impactful, fun, and easy. Lucrative, impactful, fun, and easy. And that's the way it gets to be. We do not have to hustle and grind and force and do it like men, denying our nervous systems, denying our creativity, denying our cycles. We get to be wealthy in a way that is on our terms, on our watch, congruent with our nature, our true essence. And so that is what today is all about. So number one, if money feels hard for you, if you've got money trauma, if you grew up in a family that was like, we don't have money, or money doesn't grow on trees, or that's too expensive, and the thought of shifting your energy from scarcity to abundance when you're thinking about money as in dollars and cents, then practice the energy of abundance elsewhere. Where else do you feel abundant? Because it's not about the tangible 3D thing, it's about the energy. It's about the energy. So where else in your life do you feel abundant? Do you feel abundant when you're with your kids and they're smiling at you and you feel that joy? Do you feel abundance when you're with your partner? Do you feel abundance when you're doing your favorite hobby? Maybe when you're cooking, when you're eating, when you're traveling, when you're breathing, when you're hiking, when you're swimming, when you're working out, when you're doing yoga, when you're whatever. Where is that thing that you can double down on and focus on it, right? We have to reframe wealth. If we want to be sustainably wealthy in all ways, we have to practice the energy of it. We have to practice the energy of reframing it. And we all have these archaic old stories that we've internalized through growing up with our caregivers. And it's time to give back those stories to your caregivers. Say, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to take on that story of scarcity anymore. I'm going to release that. Right? So often there's so much negative energy tied to money. So take this practice and put it elsewhere. Take this practice and put it elsewhere, right? Because your family's narrative does not help you around money. Society's narrative does not help you around money. There is very few communities in the world where we get together and we're like, yes, everyone has an aligned view that wealth and money is abundant and it comes to me easily and freely. Like that's not the norm. But it is the truth. And that's the weird thing about life. It's not the norm, but it is the truth. The truth is you are infinitely wealthy. The truth is you are infinitely powerful. You have the ability of attracting incredible amounts of money. One of my mastermind clients, Rose, she says, I have an internal ATM and the password or the PIN code is love. It's so great and it's so true. Money responds to joy, but if money feels kinky for you, and not the good kind of kinky, if money feels like, then practice abundance elsewhere. I can promise you that when you live in a sustained, energetic place of abundance, your life will begin to shift in mysterious ways. You're going to be like, wait a second. This is all working out. I'm seeing opportunities. I'm seeing abundance where I only saw scarcity. I'm seeing optimism where I only saw fear. I'm seeing infinite potentiality where I only saw doubt. Our view of the world begins to change, and it's not that the things change, it's the way we see them and view them changes. So the thing changes. And that's the beauty of perception. And we can do that through increasing our internal energy. All right, number 2, I bang on about this all day long, you guys, but I can't stress it enough. This was one of the greatest things that I learned from my time with Tony Robbins is identity. Changing our identity. And it's not just changing our identity in our mind body. It's changing our identity in our energy body. Okay, let me break that down. The mind body is thought. Yes, we have to do it there. Go from I am broke to I am wealthy. That has to be in the mind. But it can't just stop there. We have to intentionally place it in our body. I am wealthy. Try it with me now as you're listening to the show. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. Feel it in every single cell of your body. Feel it percolating. Feel your heart open. Feel your energy expand. Feel that in your body. I am that. Whatever negative narrative you have in your body, whatever stinking thinking identity that you have, what's the antidote? And just simply choose it. Again, I don't need to give you permission to. You need to just give yourself permission to. Like, have this self-awareness and self-love to go, I'm not subscribing and co-signing to these old identities that are not even mine. I picked them up. I'm not doing that anymore. If the identities that you have right now are not congruent with the vision of where you're going in the future, let it go. You don't need a reason to let it go. Just let it go. Just pay more attention to the new empowering belief. And slowly but surely over time, the old belief will fall away. It will disintegrate. It will let go. Why? Because we're not giving energy to it. The things that we give energy to are the things that grow and evolve. Think of like a relationship, right? When two people are nurturing a relationship, that relationship grows and it evolves and it becomes something so amazing, so beautiful, so energetically rich. It's incredible. But if two people are denying that relationship, it rots, it dies. It's the same thing with our identities. So put energy in the direction of where we're going, right? And let it be fun, you guys. Like, it's make believe. Like, I know they say like fake it till you make it, but this is like embody it until you become it and let it be fun. Whatever vision that you have for your life, you must ask yourself, what is the identity that's congruent with that vision? What is it? What is the identity that is congruent with that vision? And embody it. Allow yourself to just live it, breathe it. And whenever those old identities come up, don't throw shade at them. Because if we throw shade at the old identities, like, that's not who I am anymore, shut up, we create wars inside of ourselves. So can we love those old identities? We love them back into wholeness. We disintegrate them and dissolve them by loving them, not giving them energy, not believing them. Yeah. So good. So powerful. Okay, so a little recap so far. Number 1, if you're struggling with abundance when it comes to wealth, then practice abundance elsewhere. It's as simple as that. There's so much to be grateful for. There's so much abundance in our world. If you are listening to this podcast, you are insanely abundant. Insanely abundant. And you have the ability to be insanely resourceful, which is our final point of today. But number 1, practice energy elsewhere. Number 2, radically change the identity that you have for yourself. You're a freaking badass mofo. Start acting like it. Start talking like it. Start believing it. And seriously, have fun with it. Have so much fun with it. Every single level that pause grows, I have to radically change my identity, and I have to change my identity before the business catches up, or else the business will be stagnant, right? So at every next revenue level or team growth or strategic shift or whatever we're doing, there has got to be an identity shift in me, not just in the mind body, but in the energy body. Yeah. So do that work in advance, embody it in advance, remind yourself in advance, and let neuroscience do its thing. It's the most magical part of this entire thing. It's like choosing, declaring, embodying it, and letting neuroscience do its thing, carving out those grooves over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So good. All right. The last one of filthy wealthy. Wealth is not about resources. It's about your ability to be resourceful. Boom. Wealth is not about resources. It's about your ability to be resourceful. It's taking nothing and turning it into something. This is why I am so obsessed with entrepreneurship. I am so obsessed with women stepping into their power and bringing what is inside of them outside of them. Women are the ultimate creators. We are the ultimate creators. Think about how we have babies, make babies, right? It's like we receive something, in this case, sperm. Don't quote me on this because I am not a biology teacher, right? And then it goes, that's when the sperm enters the egg, right? And then it's like, bing, and I think it like sticks to some wall up there or something. I need to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure this is the way it works. And then from there, the little spermy McSpermy hits the egg, and then it's like, baby, and it's on the wall, right? And then what happens? The body creates life. Then the body births life, and then life lives outside of us and takes on its own life. It is actually crazy. Inspiration works the same way, y'all. See, 7 years in San Diego in the States, and I'm yallin'. I'm still A-ing though. I still got my Canadian tucked up in there, you know. So if we look at it in the context of inspiration, it's like we get the inspiration. We create it in our bodies. The energy moves, we create it. It's like, oh yeah, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then there's this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I can call this person and have this connection. And I can do this, and then boom, we birth something so beautiful that takes on a life of its own. Pause Breathwork has a life of its own beyond me. Beyond me. It's a life of its own. But I had to be resourceful. I own Pause Breathwork 100%. We have no debt. We have no investors. We bootstrap the entire thing, and I like it that way. But I had to be a resourceful mofo. I didn't have bank loans. I didn't have my mom and dad giving me money, nothing. I took no dollars, no investment, nothing, and turned it into a multi-million dollar organization. You can do that too. I'm a C+ student. I got such bad grades in school that my dad would be like, it's okay. The A students end up working for the C students. I'm like, thank you, namaste, Dad. But it's so true. It's like, I wasn't like the smartest kid on the block. I still am not. Thank God for ChatGPT. But I am the most resourceful bitch on the street. I will make something out of nothing all day long. And so that's been that's been like the thing that I've been the most talented at. Like I Googled my way to $1 million very easy. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you do this? I just got resourceful. I got resourceful. Just get resourceful. When you get resourceful, you will have an abundance of resources. It's impossible for me to not make money. It's impossible for my companies not to be profitable. It's impossible. It's impossible because I'm so resourceful. I will figure anything out all the time, even if I have no idea. Someone asked me a question, I'm like, I have no idea, but give me an hour, I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. Can you be resourceful? That is how you get filthy, freaking wealthy. It's Christmas Eve at the time of this podcast releasing, and I love this time of year, Christmas to New Year, because it allows us to just really slow down and reflect and go like, okay, what's been happening this year? So really reflect on that and ask yourself, can I be filthy wealthy? Not even can I choose it? Can you be? Duh, of course you can. Are you going to choose it for yourself? Are you going to have enough self-love to go like, why not me? Why not you? You have this insane mission on your heart. Why not make it something extraordinary? You got to choose it first, though. You got to step over the line. And if you need help stepping over the line, I've got you. I'm opening up my mentorship container right now, and then we're going to close it. We're going to open it and then we're going to close it. And if you want to be in a community of women who've got you, who are going to hold you and support you and help you birth that mission, doula that mission into the world so you can create the impact and income that you desire. You don't have to do it from hustle and force. You don't have to do it by yourself in isolation. You don't have to do it from a place of scarcity, pain. Like, no. Let's get rid of that in 2025. Let's jump into something so much more extraordinary. If any part of your body feels called to join the Life Mastermind, we have a few spots left. Head over to pausebreathwork.com/mastermind. I would love to have you in. I would love to learn about you to see if it's a perfect match. If it feels like a call, just jump in. Don't overthink it. If your body says yes, you will figure out the rest. If your body says yes, you will figure out the rest. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. I am so freaking stoked for 2025 for this episode. We have the most insane guests in our lineup. The next 2 episodes, woo, baby, they're going to be spicy and delicious. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you love this podcast, it would literally mean the entire world to me if you would give us a 5-star review. Let me know that you love it. It helps so much. I can't even articulate how much it helps just rating the show and sharing it. Thank you all so much. It's such a pleasure to serve you. It's such a pleasure to just be in this life with you and just hang with you and create amazing stuff while we are on this earthly plane together. I love you. Have an amazing Christmas Eve and Christmas and all the things. Take some time. Do some breath work if you're around family and you need that. You know where it is. Love you guys so much. Bye for now.